Welcome back to the Convo Couch, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pasta Jardula.
I'm Fiorella.
Johnny Sue on the ones and twos. And I was thinking of a question in my mind, so it just stumped over my lines that I didn't get to say anything.
I noticed.
I know, fam. I stuttered. I stopped. I paused. I want to say thank you to all the people on the Convo Couch YouTube. You guys have been amazing. Helped build this channel. 26,000 subscribers. Wait, 25,000.9 because YouTube's doing that to us now. It's like 998 or something right around there. I don't know. I think they unsubscribe people every day. But we also have other avenues. We have a Rockfin, which is really cool. We like to talk about it. ROKFIN. It's a cryptocurrency-based platform. Go on over. Check it out. It is awesome. It is the future. And, of course, we have a Twitter. And if you're not on FAM's Twitter, this one over here, you don't know what you're missing.
Cats.
Yes, you do.
I heard them.
Yes.
Mother of cats.
Mother of kittens over here. Anyways, let's say hi to a couple people real quick off the bat. Michael Cruz, we love you. I hope you like the trumpets in space. Maybe we can get a flying crab or a floating crab for you because we know you like your crab.
I
Val,
like the turtle.
You do love the turtle. I love the scuba diver or something. I thought it was Curious George scuba diving, but it's just it was just scuba diving. Val says pasta Fio. George Kraft. Rachel Mary Wynn. The One Who Knocks. Dan Howell. How you doing, Karen? We love you. Levi. Jim Lockett. And I think I got everybody else over there. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe. Get some people joining in, checking us on out. We want you to join in. And remember, go over to the Rockfin, guys. I think Niko's doing a show over there. He's talking about Mikey Figs. I used to call him Figsy. So go over there and check him out. Cheyenne Tierra, thank you, Cheyenne, for always keeping us in the loop.
Yes, Cheyenne.
You get no sleep. You're like our friend Sophia. Sophia, the Russian bot. If you don't know her on Twitter, you guys, do you ever sleep? You come up with some great stuff. Thank you, Cheyenne, for providing that video, and to the gentleman who did that video in Iowa, where Tulsi told the young lady, back it up. It was great, and you kept us in the loop. Matthew Savella and Mike Unge. And actually, Mike Unge is in the house. In fact, we got Mike Unge watching live. Check it out. There they are over there, Mike Unge and Steffi. Hey, guys. They said they were watching over here. Hey, guys. Come on. Hey, guys, you're supposed to be watching. Hey, guys. Would you guys leg up? Hey. All right. Oh, there they are. There they are. They got the Convo Couch shirt. They're watching.
They're hearing.
Yeah. Put down the book, Ungie. Oh, my Lord. Yeah. Wake up and wave. You know, you invite people over. You make them pasta. They said they're going to watch the show, and they're off doing other things. Of course, they're watching us live. We have a super chat that comes in right away. What channel is it on? Is it on the MCSC? Let me get over to the MCSC network. Did I say it right? MCSC. I know you like that picture of Adam Schiff there. Adam Schiff, 4 brains. Denise Gibson, 53, $2. Hello from Breeze, Illinois, or Breezy, Illinois. How you doing up there?
Illinois.
We got our friends out there in Illinois. Hard Lens Media. We love those guys out there. Kit Cabela, Daniel Lepker, and everybody else in that crew. Really was an inspiration to start diving into stuff, to look at stuff. I remember Kit back in the days breaking off from TYT, Illinois, and he was involved in radio, and he kind of split off. If you haven't subscribed to Hard Lens Media, go over there and check it out. Some of our inspirations. But fam, remember when I was around Christmas time last year? I'm so happy Christmas time is coming around this year. We used the power of Christmas caroling to get in the faces of some of our don't worry about it. It's okay. I will save it for laughs. But there was a guy who went and protest, and we'll show the song later on. His name is Adam Schiff for Brains. And I think I said this before, fam. If you go to my my Twitter, I have it pinned over there. It said, are you sure you want to open up Ukraine's Pandora's box over here? Because it's not going to affect Donald Trump. It's going to affect the Democrats and people like Barack Obama have to speak about it. People like Joe Biden have to speak about it. And there's also somebody else. Adam Schiff has to speak about it. Because you know why, fam? Adam Schiff has long ties to Ukrainian oligarchs. Check it out over here. We have July 18th, 2013. Fam, that date is 2013. That's before the regime change, before the the European U.S.-backed coup with George Soros and guys like Igor Pasternak, who have connections to George Soros. He had a fundraiser for Adam Schiff over here, and look at it, July 18, 2013. at the house of Igor Pasternak. The taste of Ukraine reception. $2,500 a plate, fam. Can you afford it?
People friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Working.
And look at the nice little lovely flyer they made. Oh, how so nice. Adam Schiff having a fundraiser by Igor Pasternak, our friend, and somebody who's been doing some great work on this is the Duran. I talk about the Duran. It's a great source to go to. There's guys like Kevin Zeese who just did an awesome show. The Duran. If you look into the Duran, they got some great stuff, and they point out these connections between these oligarchs, and right there it is. Adam Schiff's collusion with oligarch, Ukrainian arms dealer, exposed. And we said this before you start opening up this impeachment inquiry. You better watch out because they're trying to distract again, and the truth is the truth, whether it's coming from Donald Trump's mouth, whether it's coming from a Republican's mouth, whether it's coming from anybody's mouth, the truth is the truth, and you cannot deny these connections. And also, Adam Schiff had a lot of connections to George Soros, mainly from MoveOn.org. Fam, what's MoveOn.org?
Fam, MoveOn.org is pretty much another centrist think tank type of organization. They were created during the Clinton administration, during the whole impeachment process, if we remember. And we actually looked up, because we want to show the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party, right?
Yeah, really.
We want to show how that's so important, because it's going to define whether or not they're willing to listen to the people. And if we go back to Time Machine and we go back all the way to 1998, and we look at what was shown there, how the Democrats treated
today,
impeachment.
by the way.
This is today, and how they're for impeachment. MoveOn.org.
Yeah. Hit me up on Facebook. They hit me up on Twitter. Hey,
over
where
here.
you stand on impeachment? And then we go back to the Wayback Machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
1998.
And, of course, what Pasta was getting at is that MoveOn.org was created to censor and move on, to completely ignore things. There we go. They are asking if there are any Republicans that are sick and tired of impeachment, because what they wanted to do was they wanted to completely blow off impeachment. If you guys recall, they were completely against the impeachment of Bill Clinton for what would be now considered a form of sexual assault, a form of sexual harassment, which now the Democrats are constantly crazy about. They're constantly like the Me Too movement and anything, of course, related to that. And I'm not dismissing that movement, but I am saying I'm showing the hypocrisy of the situation, because Monica Lewinsky was vilified and belittled by the entirety of the Democratic Party. And if things were flipped, exactly, Hillary Clinton, of course, denounced the women that wanted to protect her. She was completely complicit in all of this.
Think about it too. She was a 22-year-old girl, and Bill Clinton was 50, right?
Okay,
so now this is your boss. It's abuse of power. And I was in the restaurant business, and I was a manager, and I really got some inside information on this, and I saw some things. I walked into restaurants, and I would go from restaurant to restaurant, and I walked to restaurants where we had problems where the manager was having sex with a waitress, and she would hold it over her head, okay? And he would use that. And if he didn't get his favors, she wouldn't get the schedule. Okay, so you could just see it. And I explored situations like this. And I also explored situations where they went out drinking and where the girl took advantage of the guy too as well. The manager, whatnot in hand and everything. But 9 times out of 10, it's not about sexual things. It's about power. About control. And men would do that. So if you think for a second that this is Bill Clinton, who's your boss, and she's a 22-year-old girl, and what kind of corner she was put into. We said back then, it's just a BJ. This happens all the time. But if you think about it today now, it's pretty disgusting. And the whole sentiment behind Move On was like, okay, censor, look at it, and then move on.
Right.
Well, he was our boss. Hey, just move on. But yeah, maybe he, just move on. Censor it and move on. Don't impeach. And here's the difference between all these people saying Bill Clinton was impeached and Nixon was impeached. Here's the thing. Nixon was guilty. Bill Clinton was guilty. What is Donald Trump guilty for inside this impeachment?
Inside the situation.
Listen, if you want to impeach him on emoluments, go for it. I'm down. I've always been down for that. The businesses in Saudi Arabia, the business inside the Golan Heights, the businesses in Israel that Trump is connected to, you can get them on the emoluments clause. We say this now, and we've said it before, and we'll say it again. They won't do it. Why? Because the Democratic leadership, guys like Adam Schiff, okay, who are guilty of sin. This is part of the emoluments clause. Getting money for favors in politics, okay, enriching yourself, having businesses. This is what it's all about, and they're guilty of sin. And we said this before. You're going to open up Pandora's box. It's not going to work. And Schiff has plenty of connections to Soros as well. But fam, I have a question, and I want you to answer this here because this is a serious question. I saw Kevin Zeese on Lauren Steiner's show the other day, and I had to watch it because it was amazing because I love Kevin Zeese, and I haven't seen Kevin Zeese work. It's great. And Lauren even did a pretty decent job with the interview, too. I want to give her kudos for having the interview. Yeah.
Or Warren. Okay.
Lauren. Well, Warren Steiner. I mean, Lauren Steiner. Just kidding. She did a good job. But Kevin Zeese talked about it. And I was really into it because I follow him on a lot of affairs. You had him on the show before when he was in the embassy.
Exactly.
I hope Kevin Zeese will come back and talk to us again. And I really loved his analysis. The only problem is that I think today, fam, people don't realize that impeachment and politics itself, you have to take the eraser, you have to wipe the board. It's a different spectrum. It's a different game. And he suggested, and some other people suggested, that they take their time in this impeachment and they slow roll it out. I'm of the person who says it's going to be devastating if they take their time on this. Because Ukraine Gate is going to turn into Biden Gate and everything that's happened. And there's a lot of Democrats involved, and there's a lot of situations to question Obama. It's just going to continue to make them look bad. Do you think if they draw this process out, it will be helpful or hurtful?
No, it's going to be hurtful because not only we're in the middle of an election here and you're diverting attention away and people are noticing what you're doing. You're going to push people away into the Republican Party. You're also going to push Trump's base who already likes him. You're going to push Trump as a martyr. Because they are. I mean, I have to agree with Donald Trump here. And I hate to say that, but they really don't have anything to impeach him on right now in this situation that they're trying to impeach him on. They don't have it. The person that should be questioned more than anybody is Joe Biden. And the person who obviously this is my point of view, is that Adam Schiff knew that the whistleblower, that he insisted the whistleblower to come out. But everything, of course, is being turned around as if Trump is doing it because that's what's beneficial. This isn't about defending Donald Trump. This is about exposing the corruption because there are deals, like Pasta was talking about, people in the Democratic Party that have been involved with Ukraine, like Adam Schiff. And Adam Schiff completely lied in front of people, conjectured this whole play, this whole freaking really bad gangster movie script.
Yeah.
And pretended and acted like, it was so terrible.
It was bad. And it was it's misleading and it's terrible and it makes you think that these people are out for control.
And then you find out the connections that he has with Ukraine. Then you find out the connections he has with George Soros. You find all these connections and you realize there's no way that he doesn't have a stake in this.
Yeah.
That he's not just, they're not diverting attention away from them because it just so happens that a lot of these neoliberals have these ties.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not that the Republicans don't have their own things, but a lot of these neoliberals put in different areas. Yeah. Exactly.
We always said this, the Republicans get a lot of money from the NRA, a lot of Christian right groups, stuff that's within the United States. There's a lot of small, groups that give these people a lot of money. But when it comes to your foreign policy right nowadays, it's been shifting. And it's been going more towards, the Democrats. When the Clintons came along and the Clinton Initiative and the Global Initiative and whatnot, they really switched to a lot of money from oligarchs and for people who have business dealings outside the United States, like Igor Pasternak. I knew who Igor Pasternak was, but I didn't know that Adam Schiff had a fundraiser with her. Can you put up that flyer one more time? Because I really wanted to sink in. Because you can go look and see how Igor Pasternak, his businesses, they're connected to George Soros. He threw a fundraiser for Adam Schiff at $2,500 a plate. Okay?
Isn't that like him meddling in our country?
Listen.
So hold on, real quick. So the reason we brought up the MoveOn.org is because they financed
Adam Schiff. Yes.
And that was from this article, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get to show this article.
I'm sorry. I thought you put it up. Adam Schiff, aided by Soros Finance Group, related to Soros, Ukrainian's art dealer. It's all connected. These people are doing business with each other all around. That is why I was so upset when Tulsi switched her position on this particular impeachment, because it's about regime change.
On the inquiry.
On the inquiry. I didn't want her to be a part of it all, because here's what I'm saying. You're opening up Pandora's box, and the only people who are going to pay for this are the Democrats. You're going to lift up Donald Trump. You have to realize politics nowadays. It's not like it was before. If you let this process draw out and you try to extend this, the longer you go, the more information will come out on Democrats like Adam Schiff. I can always say it
You
wrong.
always say it
Like Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? These things are going to come out, and there's going to be more information for Joe Biden, and people are going to start looking at what happened in 2014. Okay, and I want them to, but I don't want anybody standing. If you're an adult, you get away from this. This is not what you want to impeach him on. You want to impeach him on emoluments, you go for it. You stay away from Ukrainegate because you're only going to lift him up.
Notice how they don't mention when he was trying to stoke war with Iran as a reason to go after him either. They're not going to do that because it's not convenient for them either.
Yeah. And, you know, I did a report yesterday on the Houthi rebels, what's going on in Iran, possible peace dealings. These are the things we got to look for because Adam Schiff is always perpetuated regime change. He did it in Syria. He did it in Libya. I once have a tweet where I caught him talking on Al Jazeera. Clinton and Obama couldn't bomb fast enough for him. He was out there. I hope the administration moves along. This guy is a deep state hack, warmongering piece of crap paid for by the establishment. Somebody needs to run against this guy, primary him, and get him out of there. I know there's a Republican that's in that district that's talking about it. We need a good, progressive, independent-minded thinker to go in there, purge votes, and get this guy out of office. He's bad news, Adam Schiff, and thank you for your little drama appearance. Xavier Foster says on the MCSC network, when you're accurate, you're not wrong, fam. When you're accurate, you're not wrong. Hello from Breeze, Illinois, we already said. Guys, get on over to the Convo Couch YouTube if you can. If you can hit us up on Patreon, please leave a few bucks. Johnny, do we have the Donald Trump commercial ready? Because I just want to show this before we get on to the next point because this impeachment is just bad news for the Democrats. It's going to kill them. It's really good. Maybe it's good because it will really finally expose them for who they are. Because that's going to come out of it. Yeah. But Donald Trump is already campaigning on you dummies. Take a look at his new ad.
Joe Biden promised Ukraine $1 billion if they fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired.
But when President Trump asks Ukraine to investigate corruption, the Democrats want to impeach him, and their media lapdogs fall in line. They lost the election. Now they want to steal this one. Don't let them.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
They used that footage from
Pelosi.
The footage that we
used.
Yeah. Exactly.
We use all that footage. Listen, it's a different game, ladies and gentlemen. The TV channels don't control everything. They have a lot of still a lot of pull and a lot of power and a lot of persuasion. But independent media is here. People are off the grid. They're looking at stuff that you know what I'm saying that they're not gonna be able to control this. This is gonna get out of hand and they're gonna really screw them up.
There's been an awakening, and obviously, until people had been watching CNN, MSNBC, ABC, it just you're brainwashed. I mean, you believe it because you've trusted that the fourth estate was there to represent the people, and then when you look at and you start questioning everything, you start noticing that these people are all paid millions of dollars, and they're paid this much money because they are paid by these corporations that own the narrative that you are supposed to believe in. This is why we get demonetized because we're literally telling you things that these people want you to believe our lies. They want you to believe their conspiracy theories. Why do you think they fired people from MSNBC for wanting to interview Bernie Sanders, for wanting to have a fair point of view? These journalists who are still, trying to fight within, there's a few of them, but the bottom line is that they continuously lie to the American people, and they just keep regurgitating these lies until people believe them and start repeating them. And that's what happens. We have to break the cycle. We absolutely have to stop and question every single thing, every single narrative, and stop assuming that because they're Democrats, they're right.
Yeah.
And because the Republicans are wrong. We are in no way, shape, or form promoting Donald Trump, but that video is not only going to get Republicans to support Trump, that's going to get other people who are undecided to support Trump when it's exactly when they see that the Democratic Party is lying to them and is thinking that they're stupid enough to believe these lies and is not taking accountability for anything since 2016. They haven't learned their lesson. Why should you vote for them? That's exactly what this impeachment is doing. And he's right. In a way, it is awakening us, and it is making us be more questioning of everything that's been happening. And that needs to happen in order for us to actually have a true revolution. It's not just a revolution on the ground. It's also a mental revolution.
Yeah. The more they do this, the more every day they do this, every day they look worse and worse and worse, and more dirt will come up, and the more they look like hypocrites, and the more they help Donald Trump's reelection. Just like, listen, Bill Clinton was guilty. He had sexual relations. I did not have sexual relationships with that woman. Oh, damn, she had proof. I did have sexual relationships with that woman. Guilty as sin, right? Okay, but he still, the impeachment shot up his approval numbers, okay? It's going to have the same effect for Donald Trump because there is a question mark. And, fam, I do want to digress real quick before I say hi to some people online. We do have a super chat real quick. Let me go over to that. It's on ours. Oh, thank you so much. Where we at?
Random nobody.
Random nobody.
Always
Here
you.
you're a special somebody. Here's some dollars. Been enjoying the Trump Twitter meltdown. Thank you so much. We'll talk more about that. Here is the area where there is a loophole. Fam, you came out yesterday.
Yes,
we talked about
I
it.
did.
Let's talk about this because he did withhold aid. Nowhere in the transcripts of the phone come for Ukraine.
Yes, $400,000 he withheld for a moment.
For a little, was it 400,000? Was it whatever the case may be? He withheld it, but then he released it in September. Okay, after the phone call. Now they said, "Why did you hold on to it?" Not. Donald Trump has been threatened to take away aid from all these countries. Even when he was campaigning, he says, "We got to stop giving these. I don't want to be the country that people are. We're the sucker country." And with Obama, we're the sucker country. I don't want to give them the money. They have corruption. I don't want to give them the money. I don't want to give money to Honduras. I don't want to give them. He's always threatening to pull aid. So that is the one loophole where the Democrats are saying, well, he withheld the aid. After the phone call, he gave the aid. Mm-hmm. So that is the area where they're going to, that's the only area I can see where they can try to hang Donald Trump on. And that's going to be a hard sell. Because again, Donald Trump has always said he wants to withhold aid. He's a nationalist, right, fam? He's not a globalist. He's more of a nationalist mentality.
He's a nationalist.
He's got some global ideas, but he's more of a nationalist, and he doesn't want to give away our money. He'd rather hold it here and give it to his rich friends.
Right.
Not the American people, but the rich friends.
Yeah.
Because
it is because Donald Trump is a nationalist and he's, in a way, has these authoritarian fascist kind of views that he's going to keep that money. Like, he'll be making choices like that. Now, you can argue that he shouldn't have the ability to do that. You can argue that it's not fair, that there is some sort of maybe connection to that, and you can explore that. But to say that it goes beyond that, and it's going to be very difficult to even prove that because of what happened prior to that, how the Ukrainian government was actually wanting to investigate, was actually wanting to reach out, actually reached out to us, and we completely blew them off because why? We didn't want them to investigate because it involved other people. It didn't involve Trump. It involved Biden and the Democrats. So they completely blew it off.
I think there was also, too, Giuliani went there, started snooping around, started getting down over there, trying to find stuff. After we heard the first time where they tried to get the information to Rubinstein, they tried to get the information to Sessions, their visas were denied because they had the Obama appointee as the ambassador to Ukraine who denied the visas of the head prosecutor to come on over. And I think that kind of signals for some people to go over there and start seeing what's going on. Once again, there's nothing illegal that Donald Trump did in that phone call. I think that's the only area the Democrats will have. That's a slim area. I would have never made a choice to do it, but I think they're trying to make it a red herring and deflect from what really went on in the Ukraine where they're guilty as sin. Adam Schiff being one of them. Today's topic, Adam Schiff and the money. And this all happened in 2013. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I know that you can say there's not exact proof, but where there's smoke, there's fire. This guy's having a fundraiser for $2,500 a plate.
There's absolute proof that Adam Schiff has connections to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
I mean, that is absolute proof. And there's even more proof of Biden's connection and of what he did. He blatantly tells you what he did.
Armin Manoogian.
That's my boy.
He made a good comment.
What did he say?
Trump and numerous other interesting comment. Trump and other numerous U.S. officials are guilty of violating sections of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. How can we just turn a blind eye to that?
Say that one more time. Let me wrap my head around this. Armin, what are you getting all crazy and deep for right now? We love our fans. Armin Manoogian.
Trump and numerous other U.S. officials are guilty of violating sections of the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of of the crime of genocide.
Okay, but what does that have to do with this specific case?
I mean, maybe he wants to get Trump that way, right?
Well, yeah, I get it, but if we're going to apply,
which genocide is he talking about?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Armin,
but,
are you on the was he on the Facebook or?
No, he's on the YouTube.
You're on our YouTube? Okay.
Okay, so I'm not sure, and I'll look it up. But
we could definitely get Trump on emoluments.
Dude, you can get him on emoluments. He's dead. Listen.
Nobody's against getting him. It's how they're doing it,
Yemen.
and what they're focused on, and why they're doing this.
The Russia gate was bullshit, and this Ukraine gate is directed in the wrong the wrong person.
Yeah, we can't use this to get something else because then it's
Yemen.
It can be used against us.
But once
they can turn around and do the same thing. Like it's not in a court of law that it wouldn't hold up. You can't use one other crime to punish somebody for something else. Like it's just that you have to prove it.
And once again, Armin, with that situation, you're going to have to go back and go after Obama. Obama started that war. He funded the Saudi regime back then that waged this war, and it continued to wage this war. So it's going to be a really hard sell. Once again, and the same thing when it comes to emoluments, fam. The reason why they won't go after him on emoluments is because Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Schumer, all these people are going to have to explain how they made millions and millions of dollars while in office. And like the great FDR said, the only way to make money in public service and as an elected official is to be corrupt. Yep.
They took the money. And you can't change the system by taking its money. Famously said by Bernie Sanders. Spam.
Yes.
Another super chat?
Yes, we do. Giovanna Liviana. And really quick before I talk about Gio, what she said, and Gio, Danny Newman says Trump will be, in history of the books, the best president of the United States ever had. I don't think so, my man. Or my lady, Donnie. I don't think so at all. I mean, but I think he's terrible on foreign relations and foreign policy. Enacting sanctions.
He doesn't understand cryptocurrency.
He doesn't have. Yeah, I thought he knew what neo-mercantilism
and taxing.
was.
I mean, the economic ways of giving money to his rich friends.
Yes.
And taking it away from the people that needed most.
Yes.
I mean, and just that is not productive. If you want to look at it strictly, non-emotionally, regardless of his words, whatever, we're looking at how he deals with economics. I don't think so, because in that regard, he's not really growing the economy for the people that need it. He's only growing it for the people
who have money in the stock market.
Which is
he'll be the best president ever for people in the stock market. Even Obama was good for people with money in the stock market. The thing is also, I think Donald Trump has not paid any attention really, and I can't point the finger to the Democrats who've paid attention. Obama didn't pay attention to poverty, to homelessness. You know what I'm saying? It's a very serious problem that no politician is addressed for a long time, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. It's the thing that really hurts me the most and makes me cry is when I see poor people, homeless people on the street in the richest nation in the world. It's just unacceptable, and we're over 600,000, and in LA we have a lot of people. We have over 60,000.
65,000.
Yeah, 65,000. The number keeps
and that's
raising,
not counting the people that are homeless sleeping in other people's houses.
Yeah.
Homeless sleeping in their cars.
Which is illegal.
There's different types of homelessness now.
Yeah.
And now they can arrest you for standing somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's legal now. So they're criminalizing poverty, which is that needs to be addressed too.
So Donnie, we appreciate you watching our show. We disagree. We love you to watch our show. We want people outside our echo chamber. We never stray away from that. We disagree, but we respect your opinion.
Yeah.
Giovanni Liviana. Sorry, I made some pasta today. Biden told himself at a CFR event in January of 2018, and the video was published the same month. Kyle Kulinski showed the damning bit then too. Good work, Kyle Kulinski. Nothing to say there, fam. Okay, next one. Let's get on to the next.
We should get on to the next topic.
Let's
We've
get
been
on to the
talking
next
for a while.
Let's get on to the next topic, fam. Your boy, your friend,
Bro.
Jimmy Dore.
Oh.
My man.
Jimmy Dore.
JD, what's up, baby?
Jimmy did an amazing.
SZ. That's Steph Zamorano. What's up, SZ? Sorry. I'm being funny now. Go ahead. What did Jimmy do?
Jimmy did a wonderful interview on with Ro Khanna.
This is vintage.
He addressed I liked his style, I liked his tactics. He was friendly and nice, but he was also kind of I don't know how to describe it. He was also he was he did a great job in getting the information out of Ro Khanna. Let's just put it that way. And putting him on the spot and asking him the tough questions. So I wanted to go over this because TYT and Anna and Emma and then the Humanist Report and then numerous people have talked about Tulsi's ties to Modi, and we kind of spoke about it the other day. But Ro Khanna had this one tweet regarding Tulsi where he retweeted Peter Friedrich. Now, you guys know Peter Friedrich.
Yeah, we played him on our show.
We've pretty much played him. He is a fraud. He doesn't have this information that he claims to have, this proof of Tulsi receiving direct RSS money. He
we have that video.
We do. We've shown it 50 times.
Yeah.
But so Peter Friedrich tweeted this article talking about how Tulsi has direct ties to RSS, blah, blah, blah. And Ro Khanna went, if you guys recall, and retweeted that, giving validation to this guy who we have literally asked for proof and cannot provide it, who has constantly been following Tulsi around trying to smear her. And we've seen it. So we were pissed. A lot of people were pissed. Like, how can you give validation to this guy? What are you doing? You know, you're supposed to be Bernie's co-chair. Why are you starting? Blah, blah, blah. People got pissed. And so Jimmy Dore asked him about this incident. And I want us to see how he starts talking about Tulsi and Modi, because Jimmy Dore also asked him how he felt about Tulsi, and his kind of brought up some of his past skeletons.
Like you. But let's get into, so now let's move on to something that is very confusing to dumb people like me. And so what, since my affiliation with Tulsi, and I've become aware of her, because of her, I've become aware of politics in India. So it used
let me say, Tulsi may have voted against those defense budgets too. So I was just thinking of the leading candidates, but she's been strong on that. So I didn't, she may have voted against them as well.
Okay. So here's what the headlines used to be when Obama was president. Modi-Obama bromance starts new chapter as U.S. President pens ode to Indian Prime Minister. So that was when he wrote an op-ed about praising Modi. And then here, another one, CNN, his bromance turning point, U.S. relations. And now here, this was from 2015. You yourself, this is a tweet where you said you issued a video welcoming PM Modi, and you attended a luncheon and all that, and none of the protests. And
I never issued a video. I think that was a mistake, but I did attend a event, a lunch, but I didn't. Or the SAP Center, but I was never on stage with him, and I never issued a video. But that was that.
We showed that tweet before, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. What was that? What was that in reference to?
The tweet?
Yes.
What I just mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this tweet was different. It was back in 2015.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So we showed the tweet in 2015 tweet in reference to how Ro Khanna also would, under the same framework, would have the ties to Modi the way they're saying that Tulsi has, because under that tweet, you could say that Ro Khanna, under that article and under the FEC filings, you can see that Ro Khanna attended events with RSS supporters, interacted with pro-Modi people, and actually did it so he could get the Hindu vote. And we did talk about it on another show. So it's kind of, Jimmy's there pointing out the hypocrisy that a lot of us saw, that we pointed out too, was that, well, why has nobody gone after the Obamas, or why has nobody gone after Ro Khanna himself, who was tied and who did this? And why has nobody gone after Kamala Harris and any other public official that has met with Modi? Why is it only Gabbard? And it just seems like, it might seem like we're defending her, but it's like, no, we're just trying to be fair, because what it looks like is that they're singling her out for doing the same thing that, say, somebody like Ro Khanna, who has those ties to those people as well, did. And because he realized the importance of their vote and the importance of India and how many people are in that country, and how it's not just a simple black and white issue. But when he was campaigning, it was okay. until the tide shifted, and all of a sudden now it's not okay to support any kind of Hindu, because then you're a Hindu fascist.
And the thing they think to bring up a lot too, as we play with the Tulsi video, is that Peter Frederick has his little minions out there, and he spreads out his information. He doesn't get a lot of traction, and I wonder why. I don't wonder why. We do have a super chat. I'm going to talk about it in a second. But the thing about it is that people keep talking about this 2002 incident where they try to pin Modi as being the head of that state and that he allowed a massacre to happen. The thing about it is that happened in 2002. Modi had a love affair with Obama in his terms, okay? So that was way after 2002. So the fact that you never heard that thing brought up, you know what I'm saying? They're just looking for specific areas where they can attack Tulsi Gabbard. And the thing about it is that people leave out the geopolitics of things. It's like she said, the most drills we run in that area of that South China area, there's China, there's Russia, and there's India. We run the most drills with India. India is the only new superpower in that area. So geopolitically, financially, our monetary system, all these other things that, of course, could use some work on. I'm not saying they're the best things in the world, but that's the only ally in that area. And now all of a sudden, these new claims come out of nowhere. Where were they years ago? Where were they years ago? Are you telling me that this is happening last year? We just learned about this with this one guy who's talking about the RSS and the BJP, and not talking about the past leaders, not talking about the poverty raising, not talking about the geopolitics of the situation.
And not even that, Pasta, and not even about Modi. Just why are they tying
Tulsi
to him directly? Does she have a bias? Probably. She's Hindu. I mean, but you can say that about everybody else that's Hindu and is in our country. It doesn't happen with other people. We're not tying Bernie Sanders to Netanyahu. We're not tying these people to other foreign countries. Why all of a sudden these ties? Why, as he said, the timing? And
so let's go back.
Let's go back and play the rest of it.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That tweet, I think the campaign put out. I mean, there is no video. You can check that.
Okay, I did look. I didn't find it. So Kamala Harris also 2 years later welcomed Modi when he came to the United States. In fact, here's last week. Here's Steny Hoyer, the number 2 Democrat in the House, welcoming Modi. So my question, people like me get confused, right? So I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought people are coming at Tulsi hard because of her association with Modi. I thought Modi was toxic. And then I look and there's bipartisan support for Modi, even yourself back in 2015 welcoming, and then Kamala Harris. Nobody ever brings up you welcoming him or Kamala Harris or Obama's bromance. So what changed from 2017 when Kamala Harris was welcoming him to now? What changed?
Well, first of all, he is the sitting prime minister, and there has to be a relationship with the United States and India. And I think that's pragmatic, and no one is going to criticize a member of Congress or a senator or a president from meeting him. I mean, that would be a dereliction of duty to not meet with the sitting prime minister of India. All I have said, and it's particularly tomorrow is Gandhi's 150th birthday, and as you remember, Jimmy, my grandfather spent 4 years in jail in the 1940s during Gandhi's independence movement. All I have said is in America, we need to be clear that Hinduism, I'm of Hindu faith, is what Gandhi envisioned it to be, which is pluralism, that we should be for Muslim, Christian, Jews, Buddhists, all having the right to practice their religion, that we shouldn't be for nationalism, and that we need to have a pluralistic interpretation of Hinduism. And that's all that I've said.
So you're saying that you can be for pluralism. So Modi would be considered a national.
Because I think the irony of the whole thing is that the guy who he retweeted.
He goes on and talks about it. I was going to say, Johnny, we should go to that But if you want to read the super chat first,
I'm going to read the super chat, and I just for finishing my thought about this guy is praising Gandhi. Like here he is talking about Gandhi, talking about pluralism, and the person who he retweeted is going around trying to get Gandhi statues removed. So you should do your homework,
He's not praising Gandhi though. He didn't praise him.
He did say that it's his 100th birthday and Gandhi preached pluralism, and that's what we should.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So he did state a Gandhi thing, and the guy who he retweeted is trying to take down Gandhi statues.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's just kind of.
He gave validity to someone that shouldn't have it.
Exactly. Yeah. Xavier Foster, $5 on the MCSC network. Get on over to the Convo Couch YouTube and help us out, Xavier. We love you over there. Do you know how our tax dollars are being spent? Higher taxes won't fix a thing because of corruption, i.e., them states and cities, growing number of homelessness. Listen, I'm not going to, if you want to just try to put this on Democrats only, you're not going to have, this is one whole big system.
Right.
And Republicans have a part to play in this too. Don't think that Republican conservative policies are the way to go. I'm saying that we shouldn't be so necessarily follow the Democratic Party blindly and just ignore all Republican policies, but this is one whole big party. It's still a corporate state.
It's a misdistribution of resources, and both the Democrats and Republicans are complicit in it. Yeah. It's both.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think I found the spot.
76, and who made the DNC decide to winnow the field?
Well, that's of course I agree with all that stuff you just said. But so let me so the people, just so they have a clearer picture of what we're talking about right now in that tweet. So I want to show the people. So Tulsi had tweeted out why she decided to run for president. It's a video. And underneath this guy, Peter Friedrich, this article he wrote, and here's what it says. It says, long-form narrative documenting how the U.S. affiliates of the RSS, a fascist paramilitary in India, financed the rise of Tulsi Gabbard in exchange for her help rehabilitating Moni's tarnished reputation. And so then you, underneath that, you boosted that post. You said, important article. It's the duty of every American politician. So that article was smearing Tulsi. So that's the problem people have with that, Ro, is that you said important article. And it wasn't. So then you went on to say we need pluralism, which is Tulsi agrees with that, which her statement on this as a pluralist secular government is the only way to ensure that all individuals have the freedom to follow their religion or non-religious path of our choice. So that's definite. And she fights, and her statement is she fights bigotry with aloha. Now, your tweet caused a lot of problems in the Indian community. So this is from Indian Americans publication. Indian American community divided over Ro Khanna's tweet on Hindutva. While Hindu Americans urged the California congressman to withdraw the tweet, progressives and anti-Hindutva activists laud his tweet. So that guy Friedrich is just he's not a real writer. You know that he has sketchy background. He's an activist involved with a terrorist organization himself. And that stuff he did was a smear towards her. And so you boosted that post, said it's an important article. And so that's the problem people have with that. Now, do you regret that, or what happened?
Here's what I would say, Jimmy. I mean, look, they're in politics. I respect any person's voice and journalist's voice. I mean, people say, don't go on Jimmy Dore's show, and he's going to smear people. But come on, being in Congress, running for president, these are important privileges, and you should be never criticize, in my view, critics. Peter Friedrich, in that article, had mentioned me too. In fact, he said that one of the people who gave Tulsi money had given me money. That's why it came on our article. And I wanted to say to him that, look, it's an important article that you're pointing out that there may be some right-wing groups in the United States, and we ought to be clear that we reject that kind of politics here. I didn't think at the time in any way that was me attacking Tulsi Gabbard, and I do think that Peter Friedrich, to the point he's making, that Hindu American politicians should reject right-wing nationalism, I think that's fair. But
okay.
So he said that he kind of had to clear his name, that he was mentioned. So he went to defend himself.
I don't buy it. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't buy that. I applaud his effort, and I applaud him for going on Jimmy Dore and talking about this. But that was a very political answer to give. It was not an honest one, because at the very least, do your homework about Peter.
Yeah.
And understand
Peter
what he is. Well, it's Peter, but understand that he was going after Tulsi, and he's done it numerous times. Yeah. And that wasn't the only tweet. I wish we could find. That wasn't the only tweet of his that he was applauding. There were other tweets from not only him but other people that he was boosting.
That he liked, right?
Yes, that he liked on Twitter, that were directly attacking Gabbard in that regard. So, no, I don't buy it. Nice political answer, and I love Ro Khanna for a lot of his anti-war stances. But I mean, he's not perfect. He, with the whole Israel HR 1837 the whole funding of weapons. And I think, he should have just not done it at all. And I think he should have been honest and said, look, I didn't really read my sources. I shouldn't have retweeted it.
That would have been more respectable.
That's it. And you don't even have to admit anything else. But
he's acting like a politician here.
He's acting like a
To me, he looks establishment. He's acting establishment, right?
Well, Ro has always been caught in that middle ground. If you remember the sane progressive that some people said there was the insane progressive, whatever the case you want to be about her, I know she kind of blew off, but she got really upset when Jimmy Dore had Ro Khanna on his show. That was like the start of I've seen her going off the reservation, getting really pissed off because we had read the WikiLeaks documents when it kind of showed Ro somewhat pandering to the Clintons, and where he got his money was suspect. A lot of people within the Silicon Valley. So it was always been we've always looked at Ro like this. We've always appreciated his anti-war sentiment. Yeah. And in his video, he says, I was the first one to talk about lifting sanctions in Venezuela. Well, can you get Bernie Sanders aboard with that one too as well?
And
educate him. You know what I'm saying? Let's get people aboard with that if that's what you're for. And that's great. The Yemen stuff, he was always opposed to it. So I always loved the fact that Ro was front and center because he was an anti-war guy.
Yeah.
But he's always been suspect, giving those political answers, playing both sides, where he gets his money from, who he panders to, these sort of things. We get the receipts. And if you do have receipts, ladies and gentlemen, you want to send them to the convocouch@gmail.com. Anybody, there was somebody who was talking to me the other day about receipts about a certain person. Not going to mention who, but they're going to look for them. If you have receipts on things we should know about, send them to us. We look at them. We pay attention to them. We like them. We love the fact that we have an educated, awesome audience.
Alrighty, so I just want to go ahead and move on to the.
Do we have one more? Do we have more stuff?
Elizabeth.
Oh, because this is the big sidestep.
Well, so
this is important.
Jimmy Dore makes a really, really good point on how Bernie needs to differentiate himself more, and the campaign does, from Elizabeth Warren. And I want you guys to listen to Ro Khanna's answer to that.
With Bernie, I know you have to go, but if Bernie wins, I say that, he needs better strategy, right? Because the strategy in 2016, he had the people around him were a little bit out of touch, which is a nice way to say that they missed the boat on alternative media in 2016. They didn't go on the Young Turks until March of 2016, and the contest was already over by that time. So they've done a lot. For instance, they blew out his voice the night before the debate, and then they rested it after the debate. These kind of rookie mistakes, like right now, again, repeating CIA talking points or endorsing Joe Biden a year and a half out. You don't need that gets you nothing. But my point. So my question is, he has to now differentiate himself from Elizabeth Warren, right? And he's not really doing it because he's a much better candidate. We know that. So how does he do it?
Well, I'd say there are two things. I'll answer your question directly. But first, he has to distinguish himself from Joe Biden, because the place where he is losing votes to Joe Biden, ironically, are working class voters under 50. In Iowa, many of them white working class voters under 50. And Biden, because of this narrative of being the person who grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania with this image, is getting some of those votes. And Sanders is their second choice. So I think he has to clearly point out that he has been fighting for unions. He's for Medicare for all. Joe Biden isn't. He has opposed NAFTA. Joe Biden was for NAFTA and TPP. He has fought for a $15 minimum wage. Joe Biden hasn't. And that he's really the champion.
This is what a side step of a question.
He immediately went to Joe Biden.
Maybe people from 50 to the age of 49. Because there's nobody young that's going to be him go to Biden go from Bernie to Biden.
He immediately went to Joe Biden. He didn't even talk about Elizabeth Warren. I would have at the very least, answered and said, "Hey, you know what, Jimmy, you're wrong. We have been differentiating between Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, because they have actually the." Brianne Joy Gray has done a wonderful job of differentiating between Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. She has specifically stated how they're different via her tweets, via her articles. She's doing a wonderful job. She's one of the best people on Bernie's campaign, if not the best, besides, Nina, as far as what they're doing, as far as how they're framing everything, as far as going after the things, seeing the big picture. She's the one that's doing a lot of that, and so are Bernie's grassroots supporters. They have taken it upon themselves to differentiate him from Elizabeth Warren, because they understand that the campaign is limited in the abilities of things that they can do for political reasons, for strategy, for whatever you want to call it. So it is up to the grassroots to do it. And the grassroots has been doing a great job of that. I would have answered it that way if you didn't even want to pivot onto what Bernie should do or should not do on Elizabeth Warren. But he didn't even do that. Instead, he went straight to Joe Biden and completely dismissed that Elizabeth Warren is a threat. And I have seen him completely push Elizabeth Warren up, just like I've seen it from Linda Sarsour, just like I've seen it from Winnie Wong. And I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with it at all.
Yeah.
But whatever, just it's there. We're seeing it.
Yeah.
And again, I urge his Bernie supporters to completely go and take it upon yourselves to differentiate Bernie, because again, this is the kind of answer we're getting from one of his co-chairs or his surrogates. So that's it. And we have to be the ones to be willing to do the work. And that's why we're constantly talking about Elizabeth Warren here, about the differences between her and Bernie, because she is the one to watch. She's the one the establishment is lining up again, to support. She's the one supported by Third Way, propped up by the mainstream media. And Joe Biden is the one the Democratic Party is now using as a punching bag to mock. He's not the real threat here.
He might not even make it out of this next couple weeks.
She's copying Bernie verbatim. She's copying his entire plan. How dare you not even admit that she is a threat?
And here's what Cheyenne Tierra said on the Facebook. Warren is hosting a big DNC fundraiser with Pelosi. That, when you gave me the strike 3, when you're done, completely done, was when I saw Elizabeth Warren. That was her third strike, clean strike, of going around with Hillary Clinton. I don't even understand where she can get off doing that. How that wouldn't just immediately sack your campaign. When it comes to public perception from the mainstream independents, they can't stand. And a lot of us progressives cannot stand, absolutely not stand, Hillary Clinton. She is the epitome of evil, and we don't want you. That's old news. And why does the camp, is it not true, fam, when people says it looks like Bernie's camp is split? Because we also had a couple tweets from Shahid Buttar propping up Elizabeth Warren. Was like, wait a second, something's going on over there where they're just not following it. Because if you follow the money, you'll see that Elizabeth Warren is an automatic strike. Get out of there. You cannot support this woman. She is a losing bet, fam. So don't you see some form of split within the camp of Bernie Sanders?
Well, that's because Bernie Sanders supporters are a multitude of people. There, you have people that were maybe ex-independents, Republicans who support Bernie, and then you have people who were maybe a few who used to be establishment type of people, all that way, because it's representative of the split of the Democratic Party. But within Bernie Sanders' campaign, there is a clear divide. A lot of the people working within the campaign come from more of an establishment setting, and they are comfortable with Elizabeth Warren. They see her as an ally. They think, oh, this is great. We're going to reach for Bernie, but, it's okay. Elizabeth Warren is great. You're seeing that from the Evan Vigilans of the world, from the grassroots, the people who are on the streets, the people who were there for Bernie in 2015, 2016. Those people, you're not going to see a lot of Elizabeth Warren love. In fact, they are very, like I said, ardently working against that narrative, because they understand that when it was time for Elizabeth Warren to put her integrity and her values over her career, she chose her career. And she chose her career yet again. So is she an ally? No. Is she taking the money? Yes. Is she going to take more money? Yes. Is she supportive of Medicare for all? No. She wants access to affordable health care and talks about a Medicare for all framework. So the Bernie Sanders supporters do know that difference. The grassroots does. But when it comes to people in the campaign, they're a little bit more pragmatic, and they think, well, maybe I can get something out of Elizabeth Warren. What if she wins? And that's what I'm seeing here. And again, I'm not with it. I'm not with supporting corporate candidates and pretending they're progressive simply because they regurgitate the same information that Bernie's putting out there and put a stamp on it and say, I'm pretty much Bernie Sanders 2.0, but I'm the knockoff version. Please vote for me. Because you know why? She's not going to beat Donald Trump. She's going to lose to him terribly. And we've outlined this numerous times, and we will continue to talk about it. And we are split. But the point is, if you are a Bernie Sanders supporter, you want to get him to win. And you're not going to get him to win by propping up his biggest enemy and his biggest foe. You need to differentiate between him and her, period, or you're going to cause him to lose this election. And that's the bottom line. And that's why I can't stand for surrogates or people like that to be pushing Elizabeth Warren. You can be nice in a way that's not mocking of her gender or of anything to do with superficialities. And you don't even have to go to the freaking Native American thing. If you even want to ignore that, that's fine. But policy-wise, if you're not differentiating between her and Bernie Sanders, you are completely working against Bernie Sanders. And again, Pasta, this is why Bernie has said that change comes from the bottom up, not the top down. We cannot expect people in the higher echelons who are removed from what's going on here to understand. So we have to take it upon ourselves and do the work.
But that's awesome. And a lot of people are saying thank you for drawing the line and explaining. Some people even said, give me the rundown on what a Bernie surrogate said, and I think you really hit on that. But why are these people who are Bernie supporters that don't like Tulsi, why are they scared shitless of her? I mean, what is the issue there? I can't understand it. I can't pick it up. Is it just the Modi stuff? I mean, but that seems like a conjured up kind of situation to use an excuse to not like her, like the Assad stuff, like to not like her and stuff. Why are people those people who have gone on that Warren side, why have they moved away from Tulsi? Is it just the fact that they have a lack of foreign policy?
I think so. I think a large part of it is foreign policy, to be honest. Tulsi is strong on her foreign policy, but to many people, she is not there on domestic policy. She hasn't put out her Medicare for All plan, which she will put out accordingly. She hasn't really addressed some of the, Bernie is all social class warfare. This is my Green New Deal. I'm like this FDR guy. Tulsi is foreign policy, maven,
like the Wallace,
etc. Exactly.
The Wallace we never got.
They have what the other needs. This is why they're so dangerous, and I'm gonna go on that too. Together, they would be the most dangerous force for the establishment. Bottom line, military-industrial complex, corporatist Wall Street. Bam, you have those together. With Elizabeth Warren, it wouldn't be a change. It would simply be just trying to fix it, trying to put these little Band-Aid solutions. And that's the bottom line. And I think some of those people, they're very minor Bernie supporters that don't like Tulsi. Some of them don't because they're afraid that, they feel like she should have supported Bernie instead, that this is Bernie has the biggest shot. So let's strategically, let's run and then she can run next. And that's their belief. I think she is, personally, this is my opinion only, I think she is pivotal to him winning this election. Because if he has the biggest shot, if we're operating under that mindset that he has the biggest shot to win the primary, then we have to operate under the mindset that he needs an ally, that he needs somebody there when let's say we go to contested convention, they try to all come around Warren, he needs somebody there to at least help in the fight. And the establishment sees that she is a threat. And that's why they're continuously spreading these smears against her, trying to make fighting between the Bernie Sanders campaign and the Tulsi campaign and their supporters attacking each other. That's what they want. They want that. Because when that's broken, boom, you're just going to have them working against each other. Yeah. They can get to do whatever the hell they want and they move on. And that's it. And we all lose.
I think the fact is that people have to understand how important foreign policy is. If we understood MMT and we just created money for whatever we want, are we going to still continue to make money to build bombs, to bomb people? It's a moral thing too as well. And it's so tied directly to what happens at home domestically. If we do live by this monetary system where we spend a certain amount of money on foreign policy and giving aid or bombing or arming people, we're going to have no money for the stuff we want at home.
I know you got a super chat, but but I just want to say, Pasta, to counteract your point, you're never going to get people to pay attention to foreign policy if they can't feed themselves, if they are under debt, if they're working 40 hours a week for no money, if they're living in their cars. You have to address the underlying class issue here. And this is where the Bernie supporters a lot differ, because they look at that as the primary thing, because they can't think about foreign policy. And it's not just Bernie supporters, it's people in general. We as Americans don't pay attention to foreign policy because we can't, because the majority of us are working 3 jobs to make ends meet, can't afford rent, can't afford to go to the doctor because you're afraid that you're going to get hit with a crazy copay and you're going to get billed. You're paying your student debt. You can't even look up. So yes, we should be more educated on foreign policy. Absolutely. Yeah. And there is a direct connection, and I agree with that. But until we address those concerns domestically, then you're not going to get their attention.
Well, I used to hate when people say, why can't we do both at one time? I think we need to do both at one time.
We do need to do
I
both.
lost that one super chat, but the other one said Corsi versus Mueller. Hearing today, Robert Mueller forced Dr. Corsi to lie about Russia collusion and the YouTube. I don't think the video came up. April Mendoza.
Actually, it came up.
Dude, I lost the other. Oh, I got the other $5 one
it.
back. Random nobody again. What about Jesse Ventura, Green Party? If it's Warren versus Trump, I think he's going to wait. Jesse Ventura, the Green Party has already contacted him. If it is Warren, if it is Kamala Harris, if it is somebody other than Tulsi or Bernie, look for Jesse Ventura to definitely jump in there, and then we'll blame not only Susan Sarandon for Donald Trump getting, but we'll blame Jesse Ventura. Now you got a video over here, right, Johnny?
Well, yeah, this is from that super chat. So supposedly. Corsi.
Dr. Corsi.
Do you know who Dr. Corsi is?
Mm-mm.
Who is he? I feel like I've heard his name before.
I have. I believe he was the person in the Ukraine that was where the whole, and I could be wrong. I know that Ukraine Gate is part of getting to what's going on in Russiagate, because the owner of CrowdStrike, he is from Ukraine. He's an oligarch over there. Now, I remember they started this whole process, and I believe Dr. Corsi's name came up during the hearing, and I did watch the hearing of Robert Mueller, which was a sad, sad report, but they said, why didn't you go down there and question what was going on with Robert Corsi as far as things concerned, as far as how it originated Russiagate, I believe. I could be wrong, John. What do you have?
We'll just have to look into it later. It's like a 40-minute
It
video.
is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to look into it.
We'll
look into
it. I remember the name Dr. Corsi. Dude, you could spend all your time following the Russiagate stuff. There is so much stuff when it comes down to it, how they lied. And the whole thing about it is that you could just dive down the rabbit hole yourself and find the information. It's out there. They can't hide it. There's a lot of independent journalism. There's people like us just showing up with a camera and a microphone that's got certain people. They took pictures, screenshots of documents that they try to wash. That's why we use DuckDuckGo a lot. But there's a whole deep dumpster dive of shit to find out when it comes to Russiagate, Ukrainegate, and how everything propagated.
Okay, fam. This has been a long show.
It's been a very long show, 63 minutes. I want to send some shout-outs to some people who are on the Convo Couch YouTube. Armin Manugian, spending nearly $1 trillion a year on war is the primary reason we're not properly addressing domestic economic concerns.
Absolutely.
Foreign and domestic policies are deeply intertwined.
Absolutely.
They are, and especially if you learn MMT, it will open up the eyes.
But people
aren't
don't make that connection.
They don't.
They make the immediate connections.
Which is
so
what
we have to think about how people think too.
We do use Ecosia
you saw that.
propaganda.
Use Ecosia propaganda.
We want to make an advertisement where Pasta's like dressed up in a Viking outfit, and then
use Ecosia.
And then some there's like a
just jumping around with the Viking act. Hey, use Ecosia. Karen M, what's up? Paul, BSO Gaming, Bonnie, Florno, Thomas, Sermon, Gabarwala, and of course we have Michael Cruz. We love you, my man. Thank you so much. We're gonna get that shirt for you. He's we sent out some shirts, and James Elia, when you get back on, we need to see you in the shirt.
Yeah.
A super progressive. She sent a picture of the shirt. We love to have a picture, super progressive, of you wearing our shirt. We would love that on the MCSC network. And by the way, almost 200 people on the Convo Couch YouTube, almost 200 people on the MCSC network, over 20 people on our Facebook. What a great audience today. Jilly Love 101, Mike Fagan, Mateo Paru, Bryant Daron, Irene Burns. We love you all. Tony watches us. Aurelius Prime, Ro Khanna, some familiar faces, some familiar names. Jackie Smith, thank you so much.
I always see Ro Khanna on there.
All right, Pijman.
Mr. Fred Edward.
All right, Pijman. We'll talk about those messages one-on-one, buddy. We can't address it right now, but Cheyenne Tierra, thank you so much
Jason
for being
B.
such a great fan.
Squids
McCracken, we love that one. Li Lung Jung, James Brennis was over here as well, and of course Michiko was in the house. We love you, Michiko, and two of our favorite special fans, Rocky Bellinger. We love you.
Rocky.
You sent us a picture with that shirt on, that Convo Couch shirt, and our other boy Michael Yu, hanging on out with Stephanie. Hopefully you're watching the show and not reading a book or playing solitaire on your machines. Fam, you got anything else to add before we get on out?
No, I mean we said a lot here. So there's a lot to think about, and how you all want to approach this. But just want to say to the Tulsi people and the Bernie people watching and the progressive people watching, the independents of undecided voters, if you really want to be this election is not about the Republicans and the Democrats. This election is about the people regaining what we deserve, regaining an ability to make a living, regaining an ability to have fairness in our media, in our justice system, everywhere, and to stop these oligarchs from continuing this perpetual cycle that pretty much just continues to push us deeper and deeper into debt and economic crisis and into more wars, which is at the very least, you can say what Tulsi has done is brought that to the front. Yeah. And I think that's something worthy, and that is why I support her voice in the debates.
Yeah, and I'm glad she is on the debates. And also we have to understand and point out the hypocrisy of the left. The left leadership is just so awful, ladies and gentlemen. The Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the Adam Schiffs, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumers, they got to go. We have to get rid of them.
The Feinsteins.
What's that?
Feinstein.
The Dianne Feinsteins. These people have to go, okay? You can't say but Trump and just automatically go to any blue will do. And we have to realize people like Hillary Clinton are a cancer to this party. Elizabeth Warren has zero shot. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak to a lot of libertarians, a lot of independents, a lot of Republicans. I do. I listen. I speak to them on a regular basis, and we talk politics. They will not accept it. We will never get those votes in the middle with these people, okay? They only represent the people within our own echo chamber, these people within the California Democratic Party, which is not a progressive party. It's an insider party, and it's insider people who are pushing these heads within the Democratic Party. If we continue to go down that path, if we take another step with the Elizabeth Warrens, we're just going to end up flat on our face, and the Trumps of the world will continue to win.
And it's going to discredit our movement, because they're going to say, look what happens when you run a leftist candidate, a progressive, against Donald Trump. People don't want that. That's exactly what they're going to say. They're going to use it to discredit our movement. It's either all or it's nothing. Yeah. It has to be. Yeah. So I urge everybody to get involved locally in somehow in their elections, or actually run for office. A lot of people here are running for delegates. A lot of people are running to get involved in the committees. All of these things are important. And because, again, it comes from right now, once we have our more and more progressive in these positions of power, it's going to allow for more of it to come in. And if there is a third party in formation, it's going to allow that third or fourth party, whatever it is, to come and have a shot at actually gaining people. That's when we're going to see change, not when we expect these instructions to come from the top. Yeah.
And Jim Garrison gave $10 on the MCSC network. Jim Garrison, if you haven't subscribed to the Convo Couch YouTube, please do so, and get over to the Convo Couch Rockfin. It's important to watch and listen and share shows like this. Jimmy also said something important too. He was talking about the old network he was on. In 2016, people caught on late to TYT, and that's why it was already too late by the time they caught on. Shows like this, we talk about stuff outside the Beltway, outside the mainstream media. The reason why we don't like Elizabeth Warren so much is because we follow the money. And if you follow the money of mainstream media, if you follow the money of now TYT, the little hug kiss that Emma is boasting Elizabeth Warren, and you follow where Elizabeth Warren gets her money from, you'll see it's inadequate. It's never going to work. It's a cancer, and we need to get away from it. So share shows like this. Watch shows like this. These shows, we're mice squeaking against the avalanche, but squeak we must.
You love
that's
that
what
metaphor.
Chris Hedges said it, and that's what we're doing. And I'm really proud of the work we were doing, because we did talk about Joe Biden in Ukraine the day he announced, while everybody avoided it. Listen, we could have saved the Democrats a lot of headaches from what we talked about 6 months ago had they only watched it, because it exposed exactly what Joe Biden did there and what happened. Bobby Boucher says the chickens is coming home to roost, and the chickens are coming home to roost, and they just pretty much handed slow cap for Mr. McDreamy, can't buy me love, for putting Donald Trump back in office, because that's what they are doing. Jim Garrison, get over to the Convo Couch YouTube. Johnny, anything else before we get on out of here?
Nope.
For Pasta Jardula,
Fiorella Isabel,
Johnny Sue on those 1s and 2s. Go over to our Rockfin.
Okay, come out. Bye, guys.
We love you, Mikey U staff. Thanks for watching.
They like your hair.
We love your hair.
Whose hair?
Your hair.
Oh, my hair?
Okay. They're saying, yeah, they like
your
hair.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Huh. I thought you were talking about Pasta's hair.
Convo out.
I said combo out.
All right.
Peace.